On the day after the 44th Players, we are live on site at TPC Sawgrass with highlights, analysis, and a look ahead. Plus, we saw Ian Poulter escape from the pine straw on 18. Our pros will help you do the same at your course. That's all ahead on Morning Drive. And good morning, welcome to Morning Drive, Monday, May the 15th, year 2017, and the sports page of Jacksonville's Florida Times-Union. Well, it says it all. The youngest shall lead, as 21-year-old Si-Won Kim became the youngest winner of the Players' Championship. As we welcome you inside Studio AP, Damon Hack, Gary Williams, and a PGA Tour winner in Robert Damron. Si-Won Kim, he got it done. We saw a lot of players struggle. What's your biggest takeaway from the day?
I liked that we got to showcase the depth of the PGA Tour. We didn't have the Rorys and the Rickies and the DJs on the top of the leaderboard, but we saw some great golf nonetheless.
We did indeed. And I think sometimes, you get to this and we talk so much about the depth of the field and all the superstars are there. There are outliers that occur in major championships occasionally. This is no different. This should not be a shock. It shouldn't be.
He's
it happens in the game.
With 2 PGA Tour wins as well. Maybe we're seeing the beginning, the infant steps of the next great star. We'll find out.
We will indeed. How about some highlights from yesterday? Because it was a fascinating day. Here's Ian Poulter. He had a long stretch of not making any bogeys, just for par on 9, Robert.
Ian Poulter, didn't he lose his card? What's he doing there? A great putt he did. That was his 36th straight hole without a bogey at that point. He went a few more. Great putt.
Si-Won Kim, similar line for birdie on 9, right?
Yeah, apparently a very makeable spot. It broke a little right, then back left at the hole. Look at that mini fist pump, same reaction.
Got him to 3 under par on the day, 3 birdies on the front side. And we have Si-Won Kim on 14. Now, the short game, Damron, so critical for him yesterday.
This is what won the whole event for him. And not just that he pitched great, he pitched incredibly great. He didn't have to sweat over a par putt. That was about the longest par putt he had, it seemed like, all day.
That is not an overstatement. Now, we have seen some fortunate kicks on 16. Ricky Fowler, Fred Couples through the years. But this one, Robert, goes to number 1 in the class.
Immediately to number 1 in the class. Look at this. Molinari's hitting the bunker in a bad lie, landed about a yard away from that one. And look at that. He gets to skip arm day in the gym now.
Now, the tossing of the club, not exactly Nicholas almost hitting Doug Sanders. That went in the lake.
Oops, I hope he got it back.
He did.
All right, here's Poulter now, the vaunted and dangerous Island 17 green. Now, some people questioned the line, particularly Brandel Chambly, Robert.
I loved it. I've got a bone to pick with Brandel, and we can talk about it a little bit later, but I thought that was a great shot by Ian.
2 putts for par for Poulter.
Yeah, now it is Si-Won Kim on 17. We know how many doubles and others have been made on 17 and 18. How about the line he took here, considering his lead?
Well, considering the lead, that's right where he wanted to land it. I bet when he saw that first big bounce, his heart skipped just a little bit, but whew, it is dry.
Yeah, because it went to the shade. He probably lost sight of that ball for a moment.
Absolutely. Poulter, now really the last guy who could put some pressure on Si-Won Kim. His second, and this is 4 right.
The patented Poulter shank came out of right field that time, and look at that ball kicking back and into the palmetto bush.
We'll get into that a little bit, what happens when a player hits a shank. Here's his 4th shot now from the pine straw.
And this, the second shot took him out of the event. A lot of guts to hit this shot, though, because there's a ton of money on the line and almost hold.
Almost did Emiliano Grillo, who was playing with him. He thought it might be going in because he was up on the green now. Considering how difficult this tee shot is, Robert, this is world class.
Speaking of gutsy, this is really gutsy to hit it in the left center, but he did a smart thing. He hit the wide draw. He made sure if it overcooked, he could go down, drop it, and still reach the green in 3. So, but it worked out absolutely perfectly.
And he had himself a cushion, so that par putt there, he was short of the green in 2, gets to double digits, 10 under par, final round of 69, bogey free. And yes, he's won before. He won by 5 at the Wyndham. So here he is now at the age of 21. He is now, Damon, the youngest Players champion ever.
Indeed, GW, and by nearly 2 years, Adam Scott was 23, Fred Couples was 24. Siwoo also leaps from 75th to 28th in the official World Golf ranking, his highest ever. How about some reaction from TPC Sawgrass? Let's say good morning to John Cook and Charlie Reimer once again on site. Gentlemen, good morning.
All right, Damon, a lot of energy here on the practice tee this morning. It's not the best players in the world behind us, but it's a very important group of amateurs out for an outing today.
Right.
Sponsors. Without these sponsors, we couldn't do what we've been able to do for a living, John.
Fortunate to have these people so involved in the game of golf and allowing us, you and I, to do what we do and what I currently still do. And, you know, I thank them every time I can. I've always enjoyed Pro-Ams, met a lot of great people. There are a lot of great people out here today.
Yep. Also want to mention the flag is at half staff here over the clubhouse. It's Peace Officers Memorial Day. For those of you who keep us safe, we thank you for your service. Siwoo Kim, John, a lot of buzz this morning about his short game.
He was watching our short game camp yesterday when he was getting ready to go, didn't he?
And I thought that was for David Hack,
exactly.
not for Siwoo
That was
Kim.
for him.
We're going to get to that a little bit later in the show. We got some great demos from John planned. But I'm going to tell you what, John, I came out to the golf course yesterday. I got in a great spot right behind the 17 green, right in there with the folks. And we had a wonderful time with my wife and my two boys there. But the ball striking is what impressed me. I mean, he put this golf ball exactly where he needed to put it. This is a quality strike. Made the nice 2-putt, and then I made the little stroll over to 18T. I was actually standing about 30 feet away. He pulled that 3-wood, and I could feel the wind against him, thinking, I don't know, maybe I'd have driver in my hands. And then he hit this, the tee shot of a lifetime.
He just hit a BB down there.
Are you kidding me? I mean, that ball starts right center, works to left center. Just a magnificent golf shot. The ball striking has really, really impressed me from Siwoo Kim. And I remember when he won the Wyndham last year, he was spot on with the ball striking as well. And one more thing, that 3-wood, it's an older model 3-wood, and there's a little spot
I saw
worn out in the middle of that 3-wood.
You could see it from the television shot. It was just a little, like a little BB looking thing. Yeah,
well, he got it right in the middle of that sweet spot yesterday. A shot certainly that he'll never forget.
Yeah, and you know, to step up on some of these holes with drivers, I know that he'd had some issues before. Recently started working with Sean Foley, and they tried to get him out of that. He really had some issues driving the golf ball, and really limited in his lower body and his hip rotation, and that's what they've been working on. It just got better and better, and the confidence started rolling. And to see him step up on some of these tee shots and just pipe it right down the middle, I mean, that just wonderful. Just freed himself up and just was out there playing golf, point A to point B.
And that explains the other point that I wanted to get to before we go back to studio. Gary, I watched Siwoo Kim on the front nine, and I'm a big fan of following body language. He was extremely calm, very level the whole day. Really, really impressed me with just the internal confidence that he has, and it seemingly came from nowhere. Want to get back to studio, Gary, and get your thoughts.
Yeah, Charlie, I think you're right. Certainly you were right there. I think it was represented on television. He never looked like he was beyond the moment. It never looked like it was bigger than him, Robert. And when you look in totality at what he did, and he wasn't in the last group, but he has all these players that are around him that are trying to apply pressure. What impressed you the most about what he did?
He was essentially in the last group because the two guys in the final group took themselves out pretty early. So it sort of was in the last group. The way he picked the course apart, and we talked about his short game earlier, and you actually made the statement a little earlier. He didn't just pitch well because he pitched well. He pitched well because he missed the green in the right places. He played it like a guy that has played this course 1,000 times. He knew every spot to miss it. And then when he missed it there, he did take advantage of that great short game. It was just an incredible week. And the steadiness and calmness like we see with DJ. Maybe he's learned from watching Dustin Johnson. You don't see him get rattled. He's the same way, it seems. On
an exacting golf course with players falling all over themselves, J.B. Holmes shooting 84, Justin Rose 80, Jason Day 80, Graham McDowell 80, and he's steady as rent on that golf course, not making a bogey, that is a phenomenal performance by a young player.
It most certainly is. And Robert, to what you were talking about, you know, when you miss greens, which you're going to on a golf course as exacting as this is, major championship quality, he hit 45 of 72 greens, but he was 22 of 27 in scrambling. So when he had stress, he relieved it immediately. He always missed in the right place, and that doesn't mean you're going to chip it well. And that, to me, is a sign of somebody whose nerves are really, really good, because believe me, you get short shots. You know, when you swing fully, Robert, as a player played at the highest level, okay, you may miss a fairway, but believe me, you get very nervous over short chips. They were all kick-ins.
Yeah.
I've never seen a guy hole after hole after hole just chip it up there, and he's just kicking it in from 8 inches.
It was like a practice round, but I think what you said, too, is a testament to Pete Dye and how great that he made that golf course. He gave you spots to miss it and hit it. Just don't miss it in the other spots, because then you're going to pay a price.
Another big storyline was Ian Poulter, someone who thought he didn't have exempt status on the PGA Tour just a couple of weeks ago to finish runner-up on this championship, win nearly $1 million. For someone who had been struggling with his game, struggling with injury, the foot injury that dogged him for much of 2016. What did you take away from his performance?
I thought he played fantastic, and there was a lot of flack he caught for quote-unquote not playing to win. We know Brandel Chambly said it last night, and I could not disagree more. I think he played very solidly. He played his game. He's not, let's face it, he's not Dustin Johnson. He's not Rory McIlroy. He doesn't have that talent and ability. He played to his ability, hit the shots he felt like he needed to hit, missed in the right spots. Did he hit them perfectly? No. But he got it on the green on 16 and 17, put the putter in his hand, which is the best club in his bag. And, you know, 18, okay, shanked it, but
that's
Siwoo
pressure.
Kim had won it already.
Sure.
Right, and the tee shot to me on 17, Robert, you know, and here we're looking at the shank, and it's odd. He's had a few of these through the years, most notably at the Honda when he was right in contention to win, and this was confounding. I know to Johnny Miller, he's like, I don't know if that was a shank or not, and Ian immediately admitted to Steve Sands, said, you want to talk about the second? Now, he cleared out all the pine straw. He did some yard work before he took his drop here. Doesn't mean this wasn't a brilliant shot, but back to your point about, you know, the shots that he struck. He's not Lanny Watkins.
No.
He's not somebody who goes flag hunting. His rough proximity with his irons, he's 196 on the PGA Tour. His fairway proximity is 146. And Robert, the tee shot on 17, if that flew 5 more yards in the air with the contour of that green, that would have fed down further to the hole. He hit it on the knob and it retreated back.
He's never someone who's been a great ball striker aesthetically or even from a results standpoint.
We, as commentators, cannot say this is the toughest hole under the pressure, talking about 17, and all week, and there's so many doubles and balls in the water, and then expect our man to step up and just aim right at the pin. He did exactly what he's supposed to do, which is Siwoo Kim's on 16 green looking at him. He hits the green. He's 2 back. I've put it on the green. Ball's in your court now. He's not supposed to go flag hunting, and there's no guarantee if he hits it a foot from the hole and makes it that he can win, but if he hits it in the water, it's over.
Given a reprieve by the PGA Tour with the mistake with the FedEx Cup points, he's making the most of this opportunity. It's exactly what he did yesterday.
Yeah, he did, and by the way, he drove it exceptionally well. And his second into 14 was the best iron shot I saw on that hole all day. Let's go back out to Charlie.
All right, Gary, this isn't a pleasant subject for many people, but we're going to talk shank.
Huh?
John's not an expert on that, but let's
I'm glad I'm deaf in my left ear. I didn't even hear what you said.
And Ian Poulter, I don't know anything other to call this than a shank.
Hosel rocket. Hosel rocket.
Yeah, it catches a tree, goes back. It only traveled about 110 or 111 yards. Got on that cart path. You hit a shank, it hits a cart path, ends up in a palmetto bush. You know, he took the drop. He ended up almost holing out for par, which would have been unbelievable. Par was a heck of a bogey. We're going to get to that shot out of the pine straw in a little bit, but John, first off, let's talk shank. A lot of people are confused, may not even know what a shank is. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, it's just you know, one of those things that kind of creeps in every once in a while. A lot of things, you know, it's as close to a center of the club perfect shot as you can get. It's you know, a half an inch towards the hosel.
Yeah.
And a lot of things can cause it. I don't even want to know because I don't want to demonstrate it. But the point is, it does happen to a lot of good players, and it happens 2 or 3 times a year, 4 to 5 times a year.
Yeah.
Tommy Armour hits maybe 1 a week, and Webb Simpson we've seen, and now Ian Poulter we've seen.
And a lot of people think a shank comes off the toe, but actually comes out of the hosel.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think that's what confuses a lot of people.
Times, you know, it'll get caught up in the grass, and all of a sudden, the club it'll either toe whip like this, and you'll catch it, you know, that part in there, or it'll get caught this way, and your arms then go out and catches it that way.
Poulter, when I look at him, I see that square left toe. In fact, it almost looks like it's pigeoned in a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that might be why he occasionally catches one.
I think so too, because you can't get cleared to your left side. I always had, you know, when I would get too close with this, I would always spin then. So Ken Venturi always said, well, why don't you just start with that toe there pointed, you know, at a 45-degree angle, and that's a big Ben Hogan thing. If you start here, you cannot clear that left side. It gets stuck, and all of a sudden your arms start to take over. So, you know, maybe in trying to get it even a little bit better, Ian might try to think about just moving that left toe out just a little bit so you can clear those hips and give you more room and more space.
Okay, so you're out on the golf course, you hit one of these beauties, you go find a golf ball, you can't drive into the clubhouse, you got to keep playing. What's the best way to tackle the first shot you hit after you've hit a shot?
Yeah, it's mindset now, and we as professionals, we have short memories, thankfully. So we can forget a lot of this sometimes. So it's now back to basics. What do you need to do to hit, you know, a good golf shot? And, you know, as I said, the shank comes from your arms getting away from your body, and out here like that, you get stuck in the lower body. So now what do we need to do? Well, we need to get, you know, more rotation. We want the hands and the arms closer to the body here, and then just keep turning and keep spinning up onto that left side.
You got to have trust. Hit one for us. I'm going to show you how much I trust this man. I'm going to stand right here.
And this is the first swing of the day, Charlie. Have not warmed up. But you know, we have been hitting.
Close my eyes though.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get club on ball here. So turn and go.
Am I okay?
That's the best shot I've hit this week. I promise you. I'm gonna watch this for a minute. That was pretty nice.
LT, I trust you too, but I wouldn't stand there when you're hitting one.
No, I don't blame you. You did flinch just a little bit for John Cook. We were all watching more from Cookie and the Big Timer later on how to improve your game on Morning Drive. But for now, let's get a check on social media right now. And let's begin with the World Golf Hall of Famer and Gary Player. He is usually one of the first to congratulate any of the winners across the circuits. He said very impressive with Siwoo Kim, youngest players champion ever at 21 years of age. Very well played. Congratulations to him. Let's move on, though, to one of the runners-up, Louis Oosthuizen, in a tie for second place after a final round 73. Well played, Siwoo Kim. Not the weekend I hoped for, but looking forward to the months ahead. Expectations for Louis Oosthuizen moving forward in the season. This from Steve Elling, though, a golf writer, talked to Kim's coach, Sean Foley, just now, called Siwoo Kim the Korean Ballesteros. That is quite a compliment. Tremendous. More social media reactions still ahead today on Morning Drive. But for now, let me tell you what's coming up on the tee sheet. And there was quite a return to form that Ian Poulter had in contention yesterday at the Players. But there was also quite the phenomenal shot from the Pine Straw as part of a roller coaster ride for him on 18. We're going to get into the implications of it all, but also give you the tips that will have this tricky lie seem easy the next time you're stuck in a prickly situation like that. Then we're going to get back to the winner of the event in just his second start at TPC Sawgrass in the Players Stadium course. A slew of impressive putts you saw from Siwoo Kim that helped separate him from the field weren't just inspiring for you. They also carve out quite a lesson today from the host of the Golf Fix. Michael Breed is going to join us live to help you putt like the Players champ. Sounds nice, right? We'll get to that later. Plus, we're also going to have a good breakdown of how the freshened up course performed, especially a certain par 4 sporting a whole new look. We're going to ask the question, was the 12th hole a success? We're going to get multiple takes throughout the show, but also a strong top to bottom recap from the editor of JeffShackelford.com, Jeff himself, who was on site all week long. But Gary, we've got a lot of guests coming up, don't we?
We do, and you mentioned the 12th, and the man who would know best. Was it a huge success or did it fall flat? He'll answer that question coming up next on this Monday on Morning Drive.